Yo, what is good, YouTube? We are back with another video. If you guys haven't already, make sure you guys are hitting that like button and hitting that sub button if you are new. We're going to be getting into really good content every single day. My team's starting to drop some real juicy stuff. We got our first invincible of the year, or first endgame rather of the year today. Got plenty of invincibles at this point, but we got our first endgame. It is Kevin Durant. Finally fixed my man's jump shot. Gave him an actual good jump shot in June. You know what I'm saying? All years jump shot's been trash, which is really weird because in prior years his jump shots never had any problems, but they slowed it down and it was awful. I mean, if you had anybody on your team with a fast jump shot and KD was just roaming around the perimeter and you pass out to him and didn't know it's him, you're shooting a half bar all day, straight half bars. But this KD is much better. But beyond the point of KD, we are going to be talking about the insane market crash that this card has already begun to cause and is going to keep causing in this game. If you guys haven't already made your way over to the marketplace here, if you go check all your invincibles, they are not crazy down yet, but with due time they will be. As you can see, not any of them ending really as close as I'd like them to. They're all 3 minutes away, but Melo's hovering around 200. He seems to be ending around 250. Obviously the new cards aren't really going to be included in this. Curry still had his price just because he's got the dynamic duo with, I think it was with Clay, it should be. And also he's just a shooter. But T-Mac is at 300 with 6 minutes. He's ending about 5. Yesterday he was ending about 7. I've been seeing these Kawhis end under 400 all day. I've seen a Westbrook like 20 minutes ago end at 250. I should have bought him, but I didn't. Wasn't really paying attention. As you can see, another T-Mac 118 with 8 minutes. You are not seeing this before this Kevin Durant card drop. Like once these T-Macs got within 10 minutes, instantly we're in the 500,000-600,000s. Now you have one that's 5 minutes away and he's only at 300. Something to consider. Like I said, the new cards don't really matter. Magic's still holding his value because he technically is the only good invincible tall point guard. I don't want to say he's the only good invincible guard, but he is the only tall invincible point guard that you can get right now. So he's still going to hold his value. I actually really like that Magic card. Some people don't, but I still think he's really good. Shaq was ending around 800-900. He's still kind of holding that value. I'd say now he's ending more 600-700. So he did go down just a little bit. I definitely thought he was going to take a bigger dip with this Porzingis card, but with these packs, it seems a lot easier to pull the end game than it is to pull the actual invincibles. Very, very weird fact, but at least from what I've seen and heard, everybody's pulling end games. Not everybody's pulling invincibles. I opened like 30 packs. I really didn't get anything. I got a couple, I got like 4 Dark Matter Kyries and LaMarcus Aldridge, and I think I got a Rondo too. Kobe dropped just a little bit with KD coming out. Kobe's ending about 350-400 now. Yesterday at least, I think I didn't check until after the KD announcement, so yeah, it already went down a little bit. But prior to that, he was about 600-700. Now I've been seeing him under 5. Like I said, Kawhi doesn't really matter. AD was already cheap, but AD's ending like 200 and even sometimes below that I've seen. LaMelo's the same. I guess LaMelo is a taller point guard too. I didn't think about him. But he just doesn't have the strength or just defensive animations. What people don't get about these invincible cards is that some cards just get different animations. It doesn't really matter if your perimeter defense is a 99 compared to Magic's, which is also going to be a 99. Magic just gets some really good defensive animations. Coming over, LeBron is one that went down a lot. I've been seeing LeBron's ending at 350. That's a card that was easily over 500. We already talked about Melo, and I don't think there's any more other than that. Oh, Larry Bird. He was already kind of cheap, so that's not really even a card to really worry about too much. He was already ending about 400. I've seen some sub 250, but I haven't seen him go down too crazy. Now the thing you get into is some of these cards that are in sets. So with this hero KD over here that you lock in for this Manute Bowl, that going down in price definitely helps out a lot if you're somebody who's trying to complete this set. I kind of want to, but I don't really have the drive to do it. But everybody's selling their KD. Now this card wasn't super expensive. but he was about 90k. Now you can pick this card up under 40, so nothing crazy that helps you for this set, because you still have 500 here, you still have 300 for Tim Thomas, you still have 200 for Jordan, and obviously got Bobo, Jokic, Yao Ming, all these guys. But that is a card that helps, and when one of them drops in the set, the other one's starting to drop just a little bit. They definitely aren't going to go anywhere near buyouts. The Ben Simmons isn't going to drop very much, but I know the Yao Ming, the Bobo, Michael Jordan dropped a lot. A lot of these cards have kind of shimmered down just a little bit to be a little bit cheaper. And then in this set, obviously, none of them are really impacted by KD's drop. Paul George might have went down a little bit. Really, what you look for with these market crashes is cards of the same position. So you're looking for shooting guards, small forwards. I wouldn't consider JR in a market crash like this because, I mean, yes, he's listed as a shooting guard, but, I mean, you shouldn't be running this card at this 2. But also, when you get into just regular dark matters, a lot of them are just beginning to lose their value. So any of the ones coming from prior releases, so if you go to last week from the Glorious set, this Karolinko had value, and now you're seeing them like 30,000 I've been seeing them end, which before this drop, Karolinko was like 60,000-70,000. So for the budget players, you're getting a lot of cards here that are going to be dropping in price that are actually really solid cards. You can even come back to the Heat Wave pack. All these cards are like super dirt cheap now. So if you wanted to complete this set for 500, this Ralph Sampson was the only card that was technically expensive, but he's even gone down, which is not a substantial amount that he's gone down. He's around 65. You could find him in the low 60s. Occasionally, you might find them under 60, but in these sets right here, completing them for 500 tokens, not an awful idea. Personally, I always go with the tokens for the actual Hall of Fame pack. So, I mean, if you're not interested in that, not really much of a point. But like I said, that KD drop also will help out a lot, just in terms of good cards that are dropping in these sets. Like this Scotty Barnes. Last week, I think if this card dropped, this probably would have been an 80,000-90,000 MT card. Now you're looking at about 30, and then you come into, you know, Rudy Gay. This card would have been in the 70s or 80s. He's about 25. So you get these shooting guard cards that typically would be really expensive, but just aren't going to be because of the fact of how cheap it is, or how good that KD card is. So now it's making these cards really cheap. This Mark Eaton card is a beast, but I definitely think that with everybody putting their MT towards these towards this first end game, I definitely think that this card kind of sacrificed price a little bit. 7'4", a 35 badge center. Just, I mean, he's somebody that's gonna stand up to Yao and Bull, and that's just not something that you really see too much. I mean, you can get Rick Smits, you can get Ralph Sampson, but these are cards that are going to hold their value and typically would be a lot more expensive. But all the hype on this drop is around KD. So that's why Mark Eaton's so much cheaper. Scotty Barnes, who's a demon, is so much cheaper. Rudy Gay, who always has one of the smoothest jump shots in the game, is going to be super cheap. And what this means for the upcoming days is, I would say, if you are in the market for an Invincible or even an endgame, do not buy anything now. Just wait. Everything's going to keep going down. Even throughout the day, like I said, I mean, look at this T-Mac. You have a T-Mac ending in 2 minutes. That's at 319,000. Kawhi is barely touching 300. LaMelo's going to probably end at like 350. You got Tatum that's not even at 300 with 2 minutes left. All of these cards are going to keep going down. I'd say the only Invincible that's not going to take a real noticeable drop is going to be this Porzingis card, just because of how good that card actually is. Being as tall as he is, he's going to be the best shooter. He gets really good animations on defense, going to move really well, has really good dribble sigs. That's easily going to be the best Invincible in the game, which is why they put him in the pack with the end game for the people who just spend the $50. I'm considering spending the $50 for KD. I opened packs and didn't get him. But I also wanted Porzingis too, so I don't know. I don't know if I really want to spend $50 and have to choose between the only 2 cards out of the set I actually want. I'm not really too interested in Kawhi or Tatum. Westbrook, being a Thunder fan, of course. But other than that, that's pretty much it. If you guys have any questions about this market crash that I did not go over, put them in the comment section below. There's a ton of stuff that I can say, but I don't want to keep it going on too long. The main point of this is that there's going to be a lot of really, really good dark matters that are going to be cheap. And do not think that they are cheap because they are bad. check their animations, check their jump shot, check their badges, make sure that everything there checks out, and I promise you these cards are going to do very well on your team. Like I said, Yao Ming is officially nerfed because you have Mark Eaton, and KD is going to kill the market so you can get this Mark Eaton. So that's really going to help out the budget players. If you're not a budget player, a lot of your cards probably just lost value. A lot of mine did, but no big deal. That's just kind of how it goes throughout the year. It's a constant cycle of cards losing value. Until you get to the end game cards, it's pretty hard for those to lose value. There's not going to be anything better than it. But yeah, if you pay $700,000 now, a month from now, that card will probably be a buyout. But anyways, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are hitting that sub button. And I'm out.